Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great myself because you know what? I decided that I would go the opposite route that a lot of big AAA companies go. And I figured, you know what? I would actually take some feedback and listen to my audience. Because I've been getting a lot of comments recently saying, oh, you do a lot of PlayStation fanboy stuff. There's not a whole lot of Xbox and Switch fanboys. And normally my response is, well, can you find any? Because I sure as hell can't. Although I do understand the frustration because this is my 74th PlayStation fanboy video, and then I have 5 Xbox fanboy videos and 8 Switch fanboy ones. And that's usually because, well, one, ponies are a lot easier to find than the bots or the drones, but also that's what people like to see most of the time. However, due to recent feedback, I decided, you know what, I gotta find some really good Xbox fanboy videos, and I think I found one today. Don't worry, I have a couple more. This won't be the only one. But yeah, for those of you who wanted an Xbox fanboy video, here you go. Today we're going to be taking a look at the worst PlayStation 5 review on the internet. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this.
So after spending a few days with the PlayStation 5, I can safely say Yundefined, aka the king of gaming, the king of YouTube, the realest gamer on the internet, the 100% fact spitter, the higher level thinker, the leader of the real gamer movement, the king of anime, the king of manga, and the one who's better than you in every way, was right yet again. The PlayStation 5 sucks, and only casuals, fake gamers, and Sony fanboys with bad taste who are not smart enough to know what good games and good consoles are will enjoy it.
Well, that's certainly a way to start off a review. Give your ego a few good belly rubs like it's a dog. And call anybody who likes the PlayStation 5 an idiot, a fanboy, or say they just have really bad taste. Which is kind of ironic because, you know, most games that are on Xbox are also on PlayStation. Obviously, the first-party games are the exception. But for the most part, these consoles share most of the same libraries as each other. And also, we've covered this dude a couple times in the past. And he always likes to insult people by calling them casuals. But does he not realize that the overwhelming majority of everybody who plays video games are casuals? Like, I would say 99% and above, maybe 99.9 if you want to go that far. And before anybody writes in the comments that, oh, this video is bait or whatever, he's a troll, I don't care. It's as simple as that. I just don't care.
This is going to be a 100% factual, in-depth review on this console, the only honest review you're going to be able to find on the internet, because all these other reviews are trash. They're biased paid reviews that are trying to build some sort of artificial hype, and they're not keeping it honest with people. But you can always count on me to bring you the truth in every single video, every single sentence, because once again, I am the 100% fact spitter. So shut up and listen, because you're about to witness pure 100% greatness at its very finest. You're about to be enlightened by true facts.
Damn, bro, I'm really excited for these facts I'm about to be enlightened by. But honestly, the way you're starting off this review, I could infer that you're a Microsoft shill or something. Because yeah, there are some people who obviously, you know, they're a little too nice to the consoles or whatever. But when you start off your review by saying that you're the 100% fact spitter, and then say that the PS5 is the worst PlayStation console, when the PS3 is a thing that exists, I don't know how much I can trust you.
So, as someone who has owned every PlayStation console, as someone who defies the limits of greatness on the regular, and as someone who has literally been gaming for years upon years and has reached a level so high none can even come close, I can safely say without question this is by far the worst PlayStation console to date. I mean, there's a reason the PlayStation 5 didn't sell out and the Xbox Series X sold out instantly, because it's just trash. All these lies online like the PlayStation 5 is sold out, you can't find it anywhere, so on and so forth. Yet I literally just walked in store and bought one no problem. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to press X'd it out on that one. Even to this day in 2023, I have not seen a single PS5 on a shelf. In fact, I'm gonna go to like Best Buy and Target, like the websites real quick. Let me take a look. And would you look at that, even, well, not 3 years later, a little over 2 years later, the PS5 is still out of stock. And you're trying to convince people that all the news about, oh, the PS5s, you can't get them anywhere, is completely fake. I thought you were supposed to be the truth teller, the realest person out here. Honestly, I feel betrayed.
No one really wanted this console. It was all lies to build hype. I mean, they had so many of these consoles lying around in store just begging to be bought. Like, you know, in those movies where you see the puppy puppies or kittens in the cardboard box with a sign like, please adopt me, please give me a good home. You know, those poor pups and poor kittens just waiting to be adopted, looking at you with those googly eyes like, please just give me a chance. That's what these PlayStation 5 consoles look like in store. Nobody wanted them. They were just looking up like, please buy me, please give me a home. What a flop.
Who's gonna tell him that the PS5 has sold more units than the Series X and S? I guess I'll do it. But in all seriousness, this argument would work so much better if you made it about Xbox, because you can walk into a Best Buy or a Walmart or a Target or whatever, and you can see Series X and S consoles on the shelves. Now, obviously, a part of that is because Microsoft has like chip priority and all that, so they're getting more units made. But you can't deny the fact that the PS5 still has sold more. A few million more, in fact. So yeah, keep lying, keep huffing that copium, keep doing whatever you gotta do. I guess as long as Microsoft looks better, that's all that matters to you.
And I mean, I knew this console was trash the moment I laid eyes on it, but having seen it in hand really put into perspective how truly trash it is. First of all, this console is unnecessarily huge, just a big pile of junk, takes up way too much room. And for what? What was the point of making this console this large, Sony? It's not like you put some crazy powerful hardware inside of it for it to make up the size. You know, you had to have it big because of this hardware. No, this is the weakest PlayStation console to date. The Xbox Series X is way smaller and way more powerful, proving you don't need size to be powerful.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Hold on. I agree that the PlayStation 5 is massive. I don't think anybody who's seen it in real life would deny that. Especially when you compare it to the Series X. Yeah, that thing is a chonky boy. Although then again, at the same time, it is thinner than the Series X, so I'm assuming that has something to do with why it's so tall. But really, this is the weakest PlayStation console to date. So you're telling me the PS5, which can run games at 120 FPS, is weaker than the PS1, which I don't even know if that got past 30 FPS. I mean, dude, honestly, I'm kind of disappointed. You said you were gonna tell the truth, but honestly, you're giving Todd Howard a run for his money with those sweet little lies.
So again, what was the point in making this console this huge? Did you think bigger automatically means better? Because that's not the case. This is the same issue the PS3 had. That big garbage George Foreman looking grill. Meanwhile, the Xbox 360 was nice and compact, fit perfectly in your gaming center. Once again, Microsoft making moves and Sony failing.
I mean, I think a lot of people will agree that the Xbox 360 had a much nicer design than the PS3. So, you know what? Props for that one. But dude, it's like what the mayor from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs said. Bigger is better. Now, I'm not going to actually play the clip because Sony kind of sucks about copyright. But if our Lord and Savior, the mayor, said so, then it must be true.
A console that just takes up too much space for no reason. I feel sorry for the people that live in these tiny one-bedroom flats, because this console is going to severely limit your free space. You people that live in places you can barely stand up in are going to be shocked when you see this thing in person. And it would be one thing if it was big but at least looked cool, but the design is terrible. By far the ugliest PlayStation console to date, and I didn't think it could get any more ugly than the PlayStation 3.
You know what, since you said that, I'm going to put out a poll on my community tab right now. I'm going to ask people which PlayStation design they think is the ugliest. I would imagine a lot of people would say the 3, but who knows, maybe I'll be wrong about that. Although there's always been conflicting opinions over the PS5's design. Personally, for me, I think it's actually really cool. Although I do think the Series X design is more practical. It's very obvious that Sony was going for a very flashy look with the console. Meanwhile, Microsoft was just trying to stay minimal. Although the biggest gripe I have with the PS5 is the little like black strip or plastic bit down the middle. I don't know what the material it's made of is called, but you know when you put your fingers on it, like the fingerprints just stay there forever and there's like no way to get rid of them. God, I hate that stuff. That's like the biggest issue I have with the design. But is that going to deter me from buying a PS5? No. Now, am I going to get one? Most likely not, but who knows? And also, I'm just saying, if somebody's living in a space where they can barely stand up, I'm sure a PS5 is probably the last thing on their mind.
I've already had people come by and just be shocked, like, what is that? And I have to explain, oh, it's the new PlayStation console. And they say, wow, people are paying money for this? And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately. It just doesn't look cool. No cool factor whatsoever. So when I actually turned on the console, I was met with a familiar sound. A sound PS4 users were all too accustomed to. A certain sound that goes a little something like...
I'm assuming he's talking about the fan. But to anybody who owns a PS5 and has owned a PS4, can you tell me, is the fan worse? Because I haven't heard anything about the fans being worse. I mean, it's hard to get worse than how loud the PS4 fans were. But my friends have brought over their PS5s before, and I haven't really heard too much. Maybe I just like wasn't focused on it or something, but I don't remember the fans ever being an annoyance. And yes, the Series X is much quieter. Microsoft has always been better about keeping their consoles nice and quiet. But at the same time, is this really a massive deal? Unless you're playing the games on mute, I doubt you're even gonna really notice the fan too much. Again, if you own a PS5, please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just my assumption. Because trust me, the Steam Deck can get loud at times, but I still don't notice it too much.
Yes, that blasted, that dreaded jet engine. Straight out of the box, this thing sounded like it was ready for takeoff. Ridiculous. Woke up all of my neighbors, had complaints coming in left and right. I had to tell them, yo, it's not me, it's the PlayStation 5 that's loud. I'm not the one making noise here. It didn't even make sense. It didn't even have a game in it. Wasn't doing anything, just straight up out the box, turning it on, and it's this loud already?
Okay, I'm very aware this is obviously a joke, but you know what? I like playing into jokes, so I'm gonna do that real quick. So I'm just gonna say, dude, why was your PlayStation on if everybody was asleep? Because I'm assuming in this situation you were asleep as well. So if that's the case, then why was the PS5 even on? Just shut it off. But in all seriousness, this actually sounds like a story that like an Xbox fanboy would try to make up just to make the PS4 sound bad. Like, this is basically the most hyperbolic way you could describe the PS4's fans, I guess. Maybe besides those photoshopped images where it was like a plane and then the PS4 was like photoshopped over the jet engine. Ah, good times. Last generation was a lot of fun.
Not only that, but before you can even play anything, you had a million updates, a million day one patches. I remember back in the day when you bought a console and it just worked? So nowadays, not only do you have day one patches for games, but you also have day one patches for consoles now. What happens is just making sure something worked before we put it on the market. Those days are gone. Those days are long gone. This is unacceptable. What is gaming coming to? This new UI.
Okay, before we hear him rant about the UI, yeah, it's annoying when consoles have, you know, like day one updates or whatever. You get them out of the box, but you have to install updates or whatever. But that's pretty much every single other piece of technology that's come out within the last 10 years. Pretty much every PC, every console, every phone has some form of an update you need to install. And this includes the Xbox Series X, which you are fanboying for. A little hypocritical, not gonna lie.
This new UI. Can you hear me? I said this new UI is horrible. It looks very cheap and thrown together. They put no effort into this thing at all. Everything is cluttered and hard to find. There are no new features that mean anything. It's just, what were they thinking? They literally took a step backwards with this UI. It looks dated, like it's from 2001 or something. What is this? The menu music is god awful, gave me a headache almost instantly. And guess what? You can't change the themes. You can't switch it up. So I'm stuck with this generic background and generic background music. How you not gonna have day one themes? All these amazing themes that I have and I want to be able to use, guess what? I can't use them.
I mean, personally, I like the look of the UI. It's very minimal. It looks very clean. Although it definitely does suck that they took out custom backgrounds. I don't know why they did that. Like, yeah, it's nice whenever you hover over a different application, it'll have like a different background or whatever. But I mean, people like the backgrounds that they have. So yeah, that's definitely a valid point, I would say. Although, again, I actually think the buttons and all that stuff looks very clean. But again, you guys let me know in the comments.
Ridiculous. That's common sense. I mean, that's easy. How you not gonna have themes? I mean, just look at what you're greeted with first on the PlayStation Store. A giant image of Miles Morales, aka Miles the Fraud. I don't want to turn on my console and see a pic of this terrible character in the terrible game he's from. Spider-Man Miles Morales sucks. Horrible game. Already pushing this casual agenda.
So Spider-Man Miles Morales is pushing a casual agenda. Jesus Christ, what is this video? And also, that picture of Miles looks badass. I don't know what you're talking about. Even if you don't like the game, that's a pretty cool picture. And also, of course, they're gonna have a picture of Miles Morales. That was one of their big launch titles. The same cannot be said for Xbox because they didn't really have any, you know? And also, I love how he says, oh, it's common sense that you would have themes. Didn't Xbox One take like 8 years to add themes or something like that? So an Xbox fanboy saying it's common sense is, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but I think you guys know what I'm gonna say.
And it only gets worse from there. I go to the search bar and look at at what's trending. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Look at all this garbage. NBA 2K, Warzone, Trolls. I mean, why is that even there? Fortnite, Harry Potter. I mean, well, Harry Potter's kind of lit, but you get my point. What is Harry Potter doing here? 2K again. Naruto. Naruto. What are you doing here? I told you, bro, these Sony fanboys are nothing but Narutos. These Naruto fanboys are everywhere.
Well, if you look at what the section is called, it's called trending. That means it's what people are looking at and buying the most. It's not Sony's fault if that's what their consumers are into. But I'd just like to make a little observation as well. I've always made the argument, oh, well, most people don't buy a console only for the exclusives. They're treated more as like a nice add-on, but third-party games are what really matters. And I think that screenshot he just showed kind of proved that a little bit. Because you got to keep in mind, this video was made not long after the consoles were released, and notice how Sony's big launch titles like Demon Souls and Spider-Man Miles Morales aren't even there. It's all Fortnite, Call of Duty, NBA, all that stuff. Just a little observation I thought I'd make.
Everywhere I said, look at this mainstream trash. Of course, you got Call of Duty here. I mean, where are the good games? Why aren't you pushing the good games, PlayStation fans? Why aren't you making good things trend? You're only making trash, casual, mainstream stuff trend. Proving once again how pathetic PlayStation fans are. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Simply pathetic. I wish some good content was actually trending, but of course it's not.
Why does it matter if what you like is trending or not? As long as you get to play the games that you want, why does it matter what's trending? And also, what do you consider to be good games? Because you seem to hate pretty much every single thing that comes out. And let me tell you, dude, unless it's like Dark Souls or something, most games are catered to a casual audience, which I guess would explain why you hate most games nowadays. Oh, by the way, I looked at the poll from a little bit ago that I put up, and it turns out I was wrong. A lot of people do agree that the PS5 has the worst design. That's my bad. I really thought more people would dislike the PS3 more. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
The hardware, let's be honest here, the hardware for the PlayStation 5 is severely lacking. It's a very weak console indeed. It's basically a slightly, and I mean ever so slightly, more powerful PlayStation 4 Pro. That's all it is. This is not a true next-gen console. Games look completely subpar. The performance is very slow. The load times are ridiculous. Again, it already sounds like a jet engine straight up out the box. The Xbox Series X, very quiet, very amazing performance. Loading games instantly. They even have a feature where you can literally hop from game to game and basically like go to right where you left off. It's insane.
I mean, yes, I will agree. Quick Resume is an awesome feature. But to say that this isn't a next-gen console, once again, that's just a straight-up lie. Game performance is almost identical on both consoles. Sure, maybe the Series X will hold the frames a little better here and there, but last I checked, the PS4 Pro can't hit 120 FPS on any games. The PS4 Pro can't run God of War Ragnarok at 60 having it look as good as it does. And also, the load times are insane on this thing. Again, just like the difference between the performance on the Series X and the PS5, the load time difference isn't much different, but technically it is faster. Now, it's an incredibly small amount, but to say that the load times are long is just a lie.
Does PlayStation 5 have that feature? Of course they don't. PlayStation 5 doesn't have basic features. Pathetic. This is just ridiculous. The hardware for the PlayStation 5, it is terrible. Like I said, I've already been having issue upon issue. My PlayStation 5 broke multiple times, wouldn't read discs, making crazy weird noises, having all these issues. I'm telling you, this console is going to break again soon. It's already broke twice. It's already overheating. It's already doing weird things. It broke once. I left it alone for like a day, and then it started working again. And then it broke again and wouldn't read disc again. And it just keeps happening over and over. This console is going to blow up.
I mean, if you're having that many issues, you should honestly return it and get a new one. Don't get me wrong. If you are actually having those issues, then that's unacceptable. But something tells me this might be an exaggeration or even a lie, you might say. I mean, if it's happening so much, surely you must have video proof of it. Normally, I wouldn't be so skeptical, but given this dude's honesty throughout this video, I don't know if I'm entirely ready to believe him yet.
People are already having multiple issues left and right. You can search on YouTube online right now. Everybody's PS5 consoles are breaking. The Xbox Series X has had no issues whatsoever. Very, very greatly built console. It's unacceptable from Sony, man. You should be better than this, Sony. The controller is very uncomfortable. My hands were in pain constantly while playing. I had cramps and etc. Yet all these fake reviews are hyping up this controller like it's the best thing ever.
I mean, yes, I will agree, PlayStation's very symmetrical design with the analog sticks is very uncomfortable. But from what I've heard, the DualSense is awesome. I don't think those are fake reviews. I think those are just people who genuinely like it. But I guarantee for every hardware issue I could find with the PS5 at launch, I could probably find one with the Series X as well. No console is perfect at launch, so to say that the Xbox Series X had no hardware issues, I know that's a lie. And I'm just gonna say as well, if this really was such a big issue, how come it was really never talked about? At least from what I remember, I don't think I ever heard anybody complaining about like disc reading issues or anything like that. And yet this dude's trying to say it was happening to everybody. Again, I'm pressing X.
Like, it's actually good. That is the only thing that they're saying about this console that you see everywhere. Oh man, this controller, this DualSense controller, oh man, it's a game changer. It's this and it's that. There is nothing special about this controller at all. It's actually worse. I'll take the DualShock 4 over this any day. And that wasn't even a good controller. Sony hasn't made good controllers since the PS2.
I mean, I definitely agree the PS3 controller was like a Happy Meal toy, but I didn't think the PS4 controller was too bad besides, again, the thumbstick layout. And yeah, you can argue there's nothing special about it, because really all they did was put a bunch of vibration parts in all the different triggers and stuff. But then again, I mean, the Xbox controller hasn't been too innovative either. Now, obviously, I've defended it a lot saying, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and I still stand by that. But at the same time, there's nothing really special about it either.
This controller is, again, uncomfortable. The battery life sucks. It does all these gimmicky features that it has. It doesn't even work properly, won't even turn on most of the time. This is not how you make a good controller. Very low budget controller. Feels very cheap in hand. The Xbox Series S controller is much better. The launch lineup of games is pathetic. I mean, other than Demon's Souls, I have had nothing to play. The backwards compatibility doesn't work well. I tried to sync data from my PS4 to my PS5. That almost broke the console. No joke. It literally almost broke my PS4.
I mean, the backwards compatibility complaint is valid. Xbox is definitely much better about that. But I love how he's complaining, oh, all the PlayStation launch titles like Demon's Souls and Spider-Man were trash. My dude, Xbox didn't have any. Now, of course, they upgraded all their previous gen titles day one, ready to go. But if you want the brand new games, like you don't care what they are, you just want new games, Xbox didn't have any. They just had upgraded versions of older games. But I doubt he's gonna mention that.
It was some error message that said couldn't rebuild database or something that came up, and then my PlayStation 4 was just stuck on this blue screen for like hours. I was like, oh my god, so not only is my PlayStation 5 about to break, now it breaks my PlayStation 4. Like, everywhere this thing goes, it just causes havoc everywhere. Have had no problems with the PlayStation 4 for years. As soon as I do something with the PlayStation 5, almost breaks the PlayStation 4. Luckily, I was able to save the PlayStation 4, but unreal! What is that? I will never try to data sync or do anything like that ever again. It's just not worth it. I'll just turn on my PS4 if I feel like playing games. And the backwards compatibility doesn't work well anyway. Like I said, games look worse and run worse on the PlayStation 5 from backwards compatibility. Ridiculous. Don't do backwards compatibility. It's just not worth it. It's going to destroy your machine and just leave you in a world of trouble. It's not worth it whatsoever.
Now, obviously, this guy would know more than me, considering, you know, I've never owned a PlayStation 5 and he has. But at the same time, I feel like if this was an actual issue, more people would be calling it out. And again, I haven't heard anything about it. Maybe it was an issue and I just never heard about it. I'm not denying the possibility of it, but I am saying that given this dude's honesty or lack thereof so far, I don't know how much we can trust him. And also, I highly doubt the games run worse on PS5. Sure, if you didn't upgrade them, they probably didn't run any better. Maybe it would just hold the 30 FPS better or something like that. But there is no way they would run worse on better hardware, right? Again, correct me if I'm wrong.
But yeah, man, this launch lineup is completely abysmal. These games are trash, man. All you're left with is Spider-Man Miles Morales, aka Last Gen DLC, Little Big Planet. Imagine playing Little Big Planet. Godfall, a bunch of multiplats that look better and play better on the Series X. It comes pre-installed with some free trash game Astro's Playroom, but I mean, come on, only Sony fanboys and weirdos would play that. I mean, what is there to play? Absolutely nothing. And let's be honest, most of these losers bought a PlayStation 5 strictly to play multiplats like Call of Duty, NBA 2K, Madden, a soon to be remastered GTA 5. These losers really dropped $500 plus to play multiplats.
Well, you know what? That's probably the most base thing you're ever gonna say in your entire life, my guy. Thank you for acknowledging that. Now, I wouldn't call the people losers who do that, but yes, it is true. People usually buy consoles for multiplats, and then the exclusives are like a nice little side thing. I 100% agree with that. But I just love how he's like, oh, there's absolutely nothing to play, and then immediately says that most people who buy this are doing so for the multiplat games, which there's thousands on the PS4 and 5. So yeah, absolutely, dude, nothing to play whatsoever. And yes, they do look and play better, but for some reason, I don't exactly know why. I think I'm actually gonna do some digging on this, but especially back when the consoles first came out, the PS5 was actually outperforming the Series X. Again, I don't know why that is exactly, and I'm gonna do some research into it because I'm actually kind of interested. But it's also kind of been happening recently as well. Like, doesn't Monster Hunter run better on the PS5? Granted, it's not much better. It's like 64, 65 FPS versus like 57, but the difference is still there. But anyway, let's continue on before I get too off topic.
That could never be me. I bet half of these losers didn't even buy Demon Souls. These casual fake gamers out here, oh man, the graphics on that next gen 2K, have you seen that? Oh man, that next gen GTA 5, these people are frauds. You weirdos are not gamers. You simply disgust me. Stop embarrassing real gamers such as myself. Stop calling yourself gamers when you do nothing but play video games that aren't even video games.
Stop calling yourselves gamers when you're playing games that aren't games. I'm sorry, what? If you were to say that about, say, one of the Sony movie games, then, you know, you might have a point. I'm kidding, by the way, for anybody who took offense to that. But GTA 5 is lit, or at least it was until it became literal malware on PC and I had to uninstall it. If you're interested in that at all, go look at Mudahar's video on it. He did a great video on it. Such a shame, though. I was really enjoying it. But yeah, all these multi-plat games are awesome. How are you not a quote-unquote real gamer if you play the games that you enjoy? I'm so confused. Thank God this video is almost over.
You play nothing but Call of Duty, GTA 5, and 2K. You're not gamers and you never will be. You multi-plat playing casual frauds? This console, it's just an all-around failure, man. Very hot, like I said, very hot to the touch. Very, very hot console that's just, I'm telling you, it's about to break. It's heating up the entire room. Playing is very uncomfortable because it feels like I'm in a sauna. Gaming conditions I cannot handle. And I can see a lot of people honestly using this thing as a heater or something to stay warm in the cold. I mean, it's that hot.
I guarantee my PC would be a better space heater. This thing's gotten up to like 85 Celsius before. But again, I'm so confused. How are people who play multiplats fake gamers? I'm like, what? Dude, you yourself throughout this entire video have been saying how bad the PlayStation first party games are, and I'm presuming that you don't play them. So if you're not playing first party games, that means you must be playing multiplat games, right? Would that make you not a real gamer? Oh no. But anyway, guys, I'm actually gonna end the video here. Don't worry, you're not missing out on much. It's like 30 more seconds of him saying, oh, if you don't think the PS5 is trash, you can't be taken seriously, and that, oh, Microsoft is the dominant force, just all that stuff. So yeah, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I really do appreciate, because I know this was a bit of a longer video, almost a half hour, I think, so if you did make it through this one, I really do appreciate it, and hopefully your brain cells are still intact. But yeah, anyway, with that being said, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.